What's good? It's your boy CJ Goodfellow. We back one time for the one time. Shout out to the LDBC. And we breaking down and predicting Adrien, the problem, Broner versus Mikey Garcia. Adrien Broner always, fights at Brooklyn and pulls good crowds at the Barclays Center. And we look for him to continue that as well. Continue that good streak. I heard the prices got slashed in half, so go out there and get them. Lower level seats for under $100 from what I'm hearing before taxes. I was going to the fight, hurt my back, so I'm gonna fall back. But let's talk about it real quick. Start off with Adrien Broner. Most people say I'm picking Broner because he's focused. He's mentally stable. It seems like just because he's posting pictures of him working out doesn't mean he's 100% focused. And if he's 100% focused, doesn't mean he's going to win the fight. I look at this fight as a virtual 50-50 in my opinion. A lot of people, Garcia going to knock him out, Broner going to knock him out. It's going to be an easy fight. It's going to be a competitive fight for the simple fact that you look at, there's a blueprint how to beat Adrien Broner, And we're going to talk about that in a minute. And it's not what a lot of people think it is. If he's focused and mentally ready and doing the things that he's supposed to do, power to Adrien Broner. That's what you're supposed to do as a professional. People having to wonder if you focus, if your head is in boxing. It shouldn't be a question. In a combat sport where your life is on the line every time you step inside the square circle. And if you got to say focus Adrien Broner, mentally stable Adrien Broner, then I think that's a problem right there. And if you can clear that hurdle, then there's a lot of other hurdles you need to clear inside his game that has holes in it. And you look at Mikey Garcia, a guy who, quite frankly, a lot of people don't know shit about. Some people might look at some highlights. I broke down the film of both of these guys, even though I've seen Broner fight since he got on HBO TV. I think it's still important to break down film, to look at the guys, to give y'all guys an accurate, prediction to my best of my ability, excuse me. And, Mikey is a guy that won't beat himself. Let's say that. We got another guy on the other side that will beat himself before the fights even start and beat himself while the fight is starting. Mikey won't beat himself. And, he has no real gaping holes in his game, technically, that has been exposed. Broner is the best boxer that he's going to be facing. He hasn't faced a boxer like Broner before. A lot of people ask the question, do you think Broner is a slick boxer? A lot of people say no. I think he's okay. I wouldn't call him slick, but he's elusive sometimes when he's on his game. And usually that's against a guy that's going to stand right in front of him to make him look good. We'll talk about that a little later as well. So you got to figure out where's Mikey Garcia holes at. And in this fight, Garcia holes are his biggest things he must overcome is the size, the fight and moving up in weight, the size of Adrien Broner, the power of Adrien Broner's speed, Adrien Broner's ability to hit to the body. Those are the major hurdles that he must climb. The speed, the power, the size, the weight. Those are his flaws. For Broner has to figure out technically what are Mikey Garcia's flaws. And he's been touched and rocked to the chin some as well. He's been touched on the chin. Carlos Brugas, I can't pronounce his name, rocked him early in their fight. Rocky Martinez knocked him down with a flash knockdown. He was knocked down earlier in his career as well. And I could speak on the Martinez knockdown. It was a flash. I think Martinez stepped on his foot or something like that, and it was a good shot. He didn't seem to be hurt. And that's something people worrying about is his chin as well, that's something to worry about. And I think Broner's body punching could take effect as well. And for Broner, you talk about the weaknesses on Adrien Broner's side. Where do I start at? The base. His feet is horrible. He's always his base is wide. He brought it in a little bit, but his foot mobility isn't always good, and that's usually against a dude that's going to pressure him. He seems to not go backwards. He seems to not be as good backwards and function good going backwards as he does forward. I think Broner is a wannabe boxer, but he's really a pressure fighter trying to use the shoulder roll where he should really be using the peekaboo style. I mean, he takes a lot of right hands. His defense is not up to par. And this is even if he's very focused. He trained versus Colorado Springs versus Marcos Madonna and still got rocked. Handling more than two punches. Broner seems to go into a shell he freezes. He can't handle more than 2 punches. 3, 4, 5. You know, he doesn't even cover it up. He just stopped functioning in the ring. And we know his technical flaws because he actually stepped up in competition versus Madonna and Porter. You know, for Mikey, he hasn't had that step up in competition yet. So we're going to see if Adrien Broner can exploit more of his technical flaws. But, you know, as far as Broner, that's pretty much it. You know, and also he tend to fades down the stretch of fights. You know, his punch output is another one. He doesn't seem to want to punch a lot and throw combination. He's very good when he's throwing combination, but he's only throwing combination once the guy in front of him is a stationary target. He looks slick and good and fast and look good when he's able to fight at his pace versus a guy that's going to stand right in front of him and be stationary. If a guy's going to move and box like Paulie, I'm going to talk about a little bit later, and move, and he can't cut the ring off because he wants to be flat-footed, that's going to be an issue. Use the angles that Paulie may fight. And another thing people not pointing out, Broner's best boxer he's fought, I'm talking about from a pure boxing standpoint, Paul Malignaggi. And Malignaggi had a lot of success. If Malignaggi had some power, it might be a different story. A lot of people felt like Paulie won that fight as well. And you see when guys pressure Adrien Broner, he's not the same fighter. Even in the Adrien Granados fight where I felt he won by 2 points at least, you know, people tend to think he had issues with Adrien Granados. Guys that come forward is going to be the issue. Now, getting technical with it, on the Broner side, what Broner needs to do, man, and I'm going to tell you the punches that he's going to need. I always tell you guys the punches that I feel that the fighter needs to throw the most. And the punch Broner needs to throw the most is to the body. I mean, I think Broner needs to focus on the body. We know Broner has problems cutting the ring off and keeping up with other guys' movement and mobility. And Mikey is good at shooting at different angles, but the body doesn't move. I think Broner needs to focus on the body. Broner is an excellent body puncher. And the reason I say focus on the body more than the jab this fight is for the simple reason that Garcia's moving up in weight. He was off about 3 years, jumped up in weight quickly from 30 to 35. When he fought two fights at 35, now he's jumping up to 140 again. That tells you a lot what he thinks about Adrien Broner and him being the right fight for him to make his announcement of being the star in the sport of boxing. Broner has to put that water in the basement. Once he puts the water in the basement, slows down Garcia's mobility, makes him a stationary target, that's when Broner flourishes the most. And another thing, I think Broner needs to pump the jab just to look busy. I think he needs to double the jab, single the jab, triple the jab, just to jab, 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 so he doesn't use all his motherfucking energy. And keep the jab sharp. And then once Mikey Garcia tries to time the jab, throw a dummy jab and put a right hand behind it. Throw a jab that you know he's going to try to counter because he's going to try to counter your jab, you know, and put a right hand behind it. The check hook, he could throw it, but Garcia's know it's going to be coming. So that's why I think he should rely on the jab more this time. The body punches is going to hold him in place. The jab is going to be the table setter after the body punches, make him stationary, make him sit there and have to fight. And then once he's a stationary target, jab, jab, right hand. Then as well as for him, once Mikey Garcia gets to the later round, you can fight at your pace. Then you can slip that right or left hand uppercut. He's ambidextrous, with the right and left hand. His uppercuts are his best punch. I don't care what anybody said. You can say, oh, I like the straight right hand. I like the jab. I like the check hook. But the uppercut is his best punch to me that he's been throwing of lately above 135. And I think that's really the recipe for him to really get the victory and not even let it go to the scorecards. I think the body punches. Hold him in place. The jab just to make you show dream generalship that you busy, that you throwing. You know, casually stick in that sniper, that assassin, sniper, accurate right hand down the middle occasionally. You can still do that as well. But, you know, as far as, you know, what you need to be throwing is the body punches and the jab just to make you look busy because he's not a volume puncher. And for Mikey Garcia, what's going to be the trick for him is to step over, use angles, and do what Madonna did pretty much, is just shoot that right hand. I've seen Mikey Garcia stop guys, drop guys, hurt guys with the straight right hand and the right hook. Those are going to be his punches. I don't know if he's going to try to loop it like Madonna did, if that's part of the game plan or not. But I think he needs to, you know, the right hand, be a right hand happy. I think that's one of the punches he needs to throw. He likes to throw the double jab, the single jab, right hand down the middle. The jab is kind of like a thumping jab with Mikey Garcia. It's not a sniper jab. It's a thump, thump, thump. Even when he tried to throw it with some velocity, some speed, it's a thumping jab. And I also think he needs, and he's going to throw that jab. He's going to try to split that right hand down the middle. Broner's going to be expecting that. But what Broner probably doesn't expect is Mikey Garcia has a good check hook himself. So he can use the check hook, the left hand, right hand combination. When he's looking for that jab to split the guard, left hand, you know, because Broner likes to drop his hand sometimes and put the right hand right behind it and stick it. And I think it's also important that a lot of people must know that Mikey Garcia has stopped Rocky Martinez with a left hook to the body. He has a great left hook to the body. He has a great left hook overall. And I think his left hook to the body can bring Broner's hands down and then bring the left hook upstairs as well. And once the right hand starts to land, the left hand to the body drops the hands, bring the left hand upstairs, and then your right hand down the middle. And I think volume punching is very important to outwork Broner and get on those scorecards, but still being very wary that rounds 1 through 6, Broner is very dangerous with his power. You know, he tends to fade after the first half of the fight. So just being very cognitive of he's still a dangerous puncher. I think that he has to attack with smartness and not get reckless, especially early. Volume punching for Mikey is going to be essential on outwork Broner. If I think somebody's getting stopped, I think it's Mikey Garcia. I don't think Garcia stops Broner. But like I said, a lot of people think Broner squeezing down to 140 is going to be a blessing in disguise because he's in shape, he's waiting. I don't think so. Like I said, if he can make 140 so easy and be effective, he would have been doing it. It's not the fact that he's lazy. He can't make 140. And if he makes 140 now, he's straightening. I think the second half of the fight, if Mikey Garcia is still there and fresh and able to operate, I think potentially he can get the stoppage down the stretch if he steps it up. And he could pop as hard as they saying he could pop out of that camp. You know, and if he's there 6th, 7th, 8th round, he's stepping up the pace, he potentially could stop Broner due to him trying to drain down to that weight. That's the way I see him stopping Broner, if at all. But like I said, I think Broner, if it's a stoppage, it's going to be on Broner's behalf, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, I see Mikey Garcia winning a unanimous decision by 3 points. I think he outworks Broner. He might even hit the canvas. He might have some scary moments as well. He might get tagged a little bit. But at the end of the day, I think his ring generalship and his power and him throwing and outworking Adrien Broner is pretty much going to be the keys to success. Shout out to everybody. Subscribe. If I'm wrong, feel free to talk shit after the fight. Post. We on Facebook, the Boxing Clinic, THA Boxing Clinic. Instagram, THA Boxing Clinic 313. Follow us on Facebook. I drop dope content on there. I'm trying to drop some dope content on Instagram. Obviously, subscribe here. And after the fight, you know I'm going to be on live on Facebook. I might come on live on YouTube, but I drop a media reaction video. Then I do the review on Sunday. So, you know, look out for that, man. Talk shit, man. You know, any promo, any promo is better than no promo. I'd rather you hate and talk shit on the page. Just don't get too disrespectful. Then no promo, man. We gone.